今季の大谷選手の起用法に関しての質問なんですが、
I know that once we get back to the States, he's going to start his throwing program, which he hasn't started yet. If his arm is healthy enough, we'll have that conversation in the field.
He does have some limited experience as an outfielder while playing in Japan.
I'd imagine he'd be able to field. It's a matter of throwing.
皆さん、こんにちは。こんばんは。MLB 翻訳忍者です。本日は2024年3月19日に米国で放送された大谷翔平に関するニュースを2本ご紹介します。開幕戦に向けて韓国で調整中のドジャースですが、デーブ・ロバーツ監督の記者会見で大きなニュースが発表されました。韓国シリーズ後にアメリカに帰国してから大谷の投球プログラムが始まるとのことです。また記者会見では肘の状態によっては野手としての起用もほのめかされました。この記者会見を受けて米国有名番組 MLB ネットワークでも大きな反応が見られました。 DH 枠を開放することでチームにとってのメリットが語られています。それではロバーツ監督の記者会見の様子と米国番組の反応を日本語字幕付きでご覧ください。
今季の大谷選手の起用法に関しては、
I don't know if this thing works.
今季の大谷選手の起用法に関しての質問なんですが、DH で常に全試合出場を目指して起用し続けるのか、それとも適度な休養を与えながら起用するのか、そのあたりの方針について伺えればと思います。
So the question was the usage of Shohei and how I'm going to use Shohei. So Shohei this year is going to be primarily the designated hitter, the DH. And I know that once we get back to the States, he's going to start his throwing program, which he hasn't started yet. I know that, we'll see how that progression goes. If his arm is healthy enough, we'll have that conversation in the field. I do know he's not going to pitch this year. But right now, our only focus is him being a designated hitter.
Hey, Dave, just to quickly follow up on that, I think other question said that maybe there's a chance he could face hitters by the end of the year. Is that something that is possible for Ohtani?
Well, I think with Shohei, anything's possible. But I haven't heard that one. If that's what Dr. Elatrust said, he's the expert.
By the way, that is JP Morosi, who joins us from Seoul. It's 8 a.m.-ish in Seoul, South Korea. JP, I'm trying not to yell because I know you're halfway across the world. How are you doing, JP? How's everything there?
Annyeonghaseyo, BK. I love greeting you guys here this morning, as you mentioned, in Seoul, South Korea. Evening, of course, your time having a great trip so far. Everything pointing towards now the Wednesday and Thursday regular season games that count. They're coming up here at the Gochok Skydome.
Excellent. Let's talk a little Dodgers baseball now. You tell us the depth of this story then that we hear the Dodgers are considering once the surgery is done and his arm is good, that is there a possibility Shohei Ohtani could be playing the outfield this year for L.A.?
Well, this made news yesterday here in Seoul as Dave Roberts was answering questions about Shohei and somewhat casually acknowledged that once the Dodgers return to North America, that Ohtani is going to begin his throwing program. And that certainly got a lot of attention because all things Shohei generate news. And so in this case, now we know that he's going to begin his throwing program. And Dave did say that depending on how things go with that throwing program, that later on in the year, it could become an option for him to play in the field. Now, he does have some limited experience as an outfielder while playing in Japan, so that is a part of his toolkit, so to speak. The focus, obviously, for the Dodgers is twofold. Have him be your DH and then make sure that he can pitch in 2025. Dave Roberts made clear that he is not a candidate to pitch this year. That's a pretty important point to emphasize and underscore here. There has been some reported thought that perhaps he could face hitters as part of his throwing progression later on in the year, but not in a competitive setting. So it does really open up a lot of options. And when you think about it, BK, the fact that Ohtani is your everyday DH does prevent you right now from giving rest days to guys like Freeman and Betts who are in there every day. So it does make some sense. And from a lineup structure standpoint, it does afford Dave Roberts more flexibility. If Shohei could have a day in a corner outfield spot or even potentially first base, although the outfield is probably more likely sometime in the second half.
Interesting. No, we had to look it up. I didn't even realize he played several innings for the Angels in the outfield. Didn't get a chance. Didn't get the ball out there. I'd imagine he'd be able to field. It's a matter of throwing.
いかがだったでしょうか。大谷の肘の状態によっては、ということを何度も強調されており、DH 専門が当面のターゲットのようです。負傷などがないよう、細心の注意を払ってプレーしてほしいですね。本チャンネルでは、日本人メジャーリーガーに関する現地ニュースを日本語字幕付きでお送りしています。よければ、チャンネル登録、高評価をよろしくお願いします。また次回の動画でお会いしましょう。